Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and I thought today we'd talk about inventory. That one of the ways that it could save you money and save your customers money, and that's keeping your eye out for halfway decent used stuff. Now, the thing you have to be really careful of is that you don't end up with a boneyard so big that you get in trouble for it. Some places you're probably zoned where you can't have it. I know just recently I finally said enough's enough, and we had close to 150 machines, you know, scattered through the yard. And, I just hired a junk dealer to come in. Scrap iron prices were high. I said, get her cleaned up. So we did. So we can start again. So some of the things that you want to keep your eyes out for is some of your late model stuff. Some of the old stuff, stay away from. They're just boat anchors right now. If you're trying to run a shop, stuff to keep track of and the stuff to salvage is anything with like electric PTO clutches. You know, the prices have come down quite a bit in recent years, but you're still looking at $100 for, you know, a PTO clutch, and some of them as high as 400 and 500 for the same PTO clutch. So the ones that aren't being reproduced are like the John Deere, because John Deere's got their own, you know, there are no aftermarkets for the John Deeres. So if you got a John Deere mower, it's got a battery rear end and it's got a PTO clutch in it, pull the PTO clutch off. Anything that's a twin cylinder and above, overhead, V's, keep the engines if they're in decent shape. If you're looking at, just simply the carburetor systems on some of those are $200 and $300. So I mean, you have to look at that machine and make a quick judgment call on whether you want it or not. And where would you ever use it? It's one thing to have it, but if you don't ever have a use for it, then it just takes up wasted space, on your shelves. The other thing you can do as far as like to another way to liquidate some of that stuff, if you don't have it, the need for it right in your own shop, is simply just getting on eBay. eBay is quite the market now where you can just peddle that stuff. All you got into it at that point probably is your time and what it takes to take a photograph of it, throw it up on eBay, put a couple of dollars in your pocket. Uh, some of the things that don't ever get calls for is like bodies. The bodies hardly ever you ever need one. The seats we keep if they're in decent shape. The engines we keep if they're in decent shape. The hydrostatic transmissions, if they're in decent shape, you know, those are money makers. So where do you source that kind of stuff? Well, couple of different places to look would be if you have other shops in the area, they have developed a boneyard and they're not using it to their best advantage. They may be going up there pulling apart here, pulling apart there to put on, you know, something that they're trying to fix up the pedal. Whereas if you've got a couple different venues that you're pushing your parts out on, used parts, which is fixing customers' machines, selling on eBay, uh, even selling to other shops, if you get word out that you have good quality used parts in stock, and you can save their customers money and you can save them money, they'll be calling you. So if there's a way to have an active inventory online where these people can check, or if they can call, you can tell them, yeah, I've got one or two of those. So I would check first with other shops. Most of your shops that are selling brand new stuff, they don't want to deal with the used stuff anymore. Whereas it used to be like car sales, they would take your trade in and they'd make their money on the trade because they wouldn't be making a lot of money on the actual selling of the new machine. A lot of shops are reluctant to do that anymore because they don't want your old machine. They're there to sell new machines. They need to sell volume because they're probably floor planning for Cub Cadet, uh, Ferris, Troy-Bilt, you name it. So they have to sell X number of units. And if they've got used ones sitting there next to them, customers are going to gravitate towards the used ones, and then they're stuck with the units. So we discussed in a prior video, when you floor plan, if you sign up for the one, I mean, there's different levels that you can get into. But if you sign up for the level for, let's say, 30 lawnmowers, riding lawnmowers a year. If you don't sell them 30 lawnmowers, riding lawnmowers in that year, that following year you have 30 more. So if you have 10 left over, now you got 40 that you're trying to peddle. And it's a reoccurring thing. So those guys are trying to push the new. And they're taking and making the money on the warranty side. And when I say warranty side, it's called guaranteed money. If they're a certified warranty shop for any of those, which they will be for any of those units they're selling, these manufacturers will pay them to get these fixed, unless it falls under the thing of what I feel. Anyways, a lot of shops won't do it the way I do it. I try to be honest with everybody. If it's the customer broke it and it's because of their neglect or their stupidity, that's on them. If it's actually a defect from the manufacturer, okay. But other than that, I mean, I've had some manufacturers that where a guy, bent blades and burned the belt off their machine. Tell us, just go ahead and do it. We'll eat it on this customer. That's what the manufacturer has already been told. It's not their problem. That's their decision to take it forward. Whereas if you're a shop and you get a machine in there and they're saying it's warranty and the customer is saying it's warranty, and technically it's not warranty, for you to automatically mark it as warranty and stiff the manufacturer isn't right either. No more than if it was warranty and you stiff the customer. You see where I'm saying? You got to stay true to yourself and to your customers and to the guy that's making those machines. So start with them first because they usually have a pretty good sized boneyard and they've got it stuck out back where nobody can see it. And usually they will have a scrap dealer come in and just clean them out every 6 months, every year. Just keep it cleaned out because most of them are zoned in an area where they can't have a junkyard, right? And most shops do not want that eyesore anywhere on their property because they're trying to present an image of, everything is nice and neat and everybody's wearing the same uniforms. And check with those guys first. Offer them a little bit more than junk price for it and then haul it back to your place. But again, you need to check to find out whether zoning in your area will allow you to have these units. Out here where we're at, I've got just under 500 acres of land. And, they probably get on to me if I started having a lot of crap. But if I keep it out of sight, out of mind, nobody bothers me. But this year, it got to bother me that we had accumulated so many of them and they just weren't getting used. So we went through all the better ones, pulled their engines on it, PTO clutches, uh, and then we always need tires and rims together where we can just swap it out, you know, get a couple dollars out of it. which kind of makes me laugh because when I had these guys that were in the scrap business, they come out with their excavator, their skid steers, and they had the big dumpsters. I didn't have a lot of call for used tires and rims and this and that. But the minute they started seeing the dumpster out here, I started having people stopping like crazy looking for tires, rims, and which I hadn't had the market before. But they felt that since I was scrapping them out, I'd get rid of them for a little bit of nothing versus what they knew what they cost. So keeping the good tires and rims, especially John Deere's, and then your bigger rear tires and rims, you'll sell a lot of those. So check with those guys first. And then another source of income, what I call passive income for you shops, are getting used machines running. And a lot of times you'll see just riding around, especially during the garage sales season, of people pushing these old, I shouldn't say old, but these mowers out front. And I can give you an example of one that comes to mind right off the bat. And it's a well known issue with Sears Craftsman is that they had taken it to a shop and the shop told them there was no compression, you know, junk. Where in fact, what it was is the nuts had loosened up on the valves and the nuts actually laid inside the valve cover. So all we had to do was just screw the nuts back on, adjust the valves, brand new mower. How much does it cost to screw a couple of nuts on, stick it out front for $400 that you got it for $50 at a yard sale? But again, stay away from the older models. Older models do not sell. The only time I've seen the older models sell is like the Wheel Horse, John Deere, and the old Cubbies. Other than that, it's crap. It's just paperweights. Used to be you could ride around and see stuff on the side of the roads. Next best place, because nobody's doing that anymore, is Facebook Marketplace. You'll find a lot of stuff listed there. And you really have to make a snap judgment when you're doing this because a lot of times when someone's getting rid of something, there's a good reason why they're getting rid of it. But you have the upper hand going in because hopefully you're a mechanic and you also have some business sense when it comes to, I know, do I have a market for that machine if it's running and driving? What is it going to cost me to get it running and driving? Do I have spare parts back at the shop that would correct the issue that it's having right now? And how much time have I got invested? How much have I got in parts? And can I make money by having it for sale used? We sell a lot of used machines, and I find the magic number is between $300 and $500 for a riding lawnmower. A little bit more if you've got some, zero turn and some of the newer John Deeres that are out there. And one of the other last places to look, what I had just done with mine is scrap yards. A lot of people will take and haul their lawnmowers to the scrap dealer, and if 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 that guy knows he can make more money by selling to you than he can by shearing it and cutting it up, he'll be giving you a call. So I hope that's kind of giving you guys some ideas. Got your brain spinning, or hey, maybe I could do this or that. So if you find the content we have here is good, could you please like and subscribe? And on that note, you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.